Let's continue with the fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue include blood and lymph. Blood and lymph. Okay. Then we need to go with the blood first. We'll make a chart of the blood. Then, excuse me. Yeah. Blood is classified into plasma, blood cells, or we say it as formed elements, platelets, plasma, blood cells, and platelets. Need to go with this plasma, blood cells, and platelets. Okay, the blood cells are formed elements are further classified into RBC and WBC, RBC and WBC. The WBC further classified into granulocytes, granulocytes and agranulocytes, granulocytes and agranulocytes. The granulocytes are of three types. Acidophils or eosinophils, they are well known in the form of eosinophils, eosinophils, various pronunciations are there. Basophils and neutrophils. Acidophil, basophil, and neutrophil. Agranulocytes are classified into lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes and monocytes. So the WBC are about 5 types. 1, 2, 3 granulocytes. We say the 4 and 5 are agranulocytes. Just introducing all of you. Just all of the cells are introducing to you. The platelets cannot be cells here. The platelets are said to be the smallest particles of the fragments of a cell called megakaryocyte that we'll discuss in the coming days. Then, first of all, just giving a picture of the blood here. The blood cells, RBC and WBC. The WBC, the white blood cells, are further classified based upon the presence of granules, the granulocytes and agranulocytes, granulocytes and agranulocytes. The granulocytes are again classified into acidophil, basophil, and neutrophils. Acidophils, basophils, and neutrophils. Then agranulocytes are classified into lymphocytes and monocytes, lymphocytes and monocytes. Okay, so then now the different issues are there in the blood that we have to discuss that particular issues. In that, the first one, before we enter into the topic, we'll complete all that the issues that definitions we have. So all the definitions will complete first, then after we'll discuss each and every part like plasma, RBC, WBC. In the WBC, granulocyte, acidophil, basophil, neutrophil, and granulocytes, which include lymphocytes and monocytes. So before that, allow me to go for some definitions here in the particular area, some issues we'll have. So in that, the first one, poiesis, poiesis, which means you need to remember this as production, the language we are making, we are learning here now. Poiesis, which means production. Okay, so with this poiesis, let us frame some definition. Erythropoiesis. So as we know that poiesis is a production. So erythro, just we need to know what is erythro. Erythro means RBC. So erythropoiesis, what it means? Erythropoiesis means production of RBC. Erythropoiesis, which means the production of RBC. Okay, so that's what that you need to learn. You need to see just what is poiesis. You need to remember what is poiesis. Erythro, the frequent word we use for RBC. Okay, next, leucopoiesis. The one more here we are talking, that is leucopoiesis. Leuco, that means the word leuco indicates WBC. So The production of WBC. What I said, poiesis means production. So leukopoiesis means the production of WBC. To be remembered, the leukopoiesis, which means the production of WBC. Okay. Next, number 3, lymphopoiesis. That means that in the WBC, as we said, there are agranulocytes and granulocytes. So particularly they are talking about the lymphocytes. So production of lymphocyte, lymphopoiesis. We use it to say lymphopoiesis. Thrombopoiesis. Thrombo, the word indicates the presence, the production of platelets. So thrombopoiesis, that means the production of platelets. Okay, so just need to learn this. What is the word poiesis? Poiesis means production. That if you remember that these words will come frequently in the whole topic, erythro, leuco, lympho, thrombo, likewise. So adding suffix erythro, adding suffix poiesis to the erythro, that becomes production of RBC. Define erythropoiesis, production of RBC. Okay, leukopoiesis, production of WBC. Lymphopoiesis, production of lymphocytes. Then thrombopoiesis, production of platelets. Likewise. Okay. Next, let me introduce one more word to you, that is cythemia. Need to remember, cythemia means increase. We are talking about the blood cells. That's why you should remember that increase in the number. Okay, so cythemia, which means increase in the number. Cythemia, which means increase in the number. Okay, in that polycythemia, to be remembered, polycythemia, which is a very frequent question here, the polycythemia, because there is name is not saying anything. So that's why we have to go through this. We need to remember this RBC. Okay, so cythemia we already learned. What is cythemia? Increase. So polycythemia, which means increase in the number of RBC. Polycythemia means increase in the number of RBC. Okay. So particularly erythrocythemia, they are not pronouncing like it as erythrocythemia. So they are saying it as polycythemia. Just try to remember this. Okay, so polycythemia. Okay, leukocythemia. Leuco, the word we already learned. Leuco means WBC. Cythemia means production increase. Okay, leukocythemia. Increase in the production of WBC is called leukocythemia. Increase in the production of WBC. Okay. Thrombocythemia. Thrombocythemia. What is thrombocythemia? That thrombo, the word we already said, thrombo word indicates platelets. So increase in the production of platelets is called thrombocythemia. Okay. So polycythemia, leukocythemia, thrombocythemia. Here we need to learn one more, that is leukemia. Leukemia is also, we say, increase in the production of WBC, but don't we make it as similar to the leukocythemia. Okay, that means, for example, WBC, some 5,000 WBC are present for 1 cubic millimeter of blood. If some 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000, if it is present, we say leukocythemia. Normal count is 5,000. So if some 8,000 is there, if 9,000 is there, we say that as leukocythemia. But leukemia is also increase in the number of WBC, but we add a word uncontrolled increase. That's what I'm saying. Leukemia is not equal to leukocythemia. Leukemia and leukocythemia are different. Uncontrolled division of cells, we say. That means today 5,000, maybe 6,000 afterwards, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,000. That means it will be increased uncontrollably. We call it as leukemia. You may know it as a general word as blood cancer. Okay, so as a blood cancer. Leukemia is also called blood cancer. Okay, so leukocytemia means a general increase, some increase. Okay, but uncontrollable increase can be called leukemia. Okay, so the definition wise, leukocytemia we are learning, and you remember that uncontrolled division is called leukemia. Okay, then let's continue. One more, pania. Pania, which means decrease. Pania means decrease. Decrease in the number of WBC, we say pania. Okay. Then, okay, pania means decrease. Remember it has decreased. Let us start. Erythrocytopenia. Erythrocytopenia. That means erythro. We already became familiar with erythro. Erythro means RBC. So what is erythrocytopenia? Erythrocytopenia means decrease in the number of RBC. Okay. Next, leukocytopenia or leukopenia. That means the decrease in the number of WBC. That means decrease in the number of WBC. Okay. Next, thrombocytopenia, which is very familiar with dengue fever. Their platelet number is going to be decreased. So decrease in the number of platelets, we say thrombocytopenia. So only thing you need to remember, that is what is penia. That's all. Okay, the thrombocytopenia. Okay, and we have a familiar word with RBC. That decrease in the number of RBC or inefficiency of working of RBC. That whatever that we say it as anemia. In general words, we use it to say anemia. Okay, so learn three words: poiesis, which means production; cythemia, which means increase in the number; pania, which means decrease in the number. Poiesis, cythemia, pania. So just adding prefix to them that we can answer everything. So that's why I am requesting you to remember these suffixes. Poiesis, cythemia, and pania. And the frequent words will come here like erythro. Erythro always indicates RBC. Leuco, which always indicates the WBC. Then lympho, particularly lympho means lymphocytes. Thrombo, the word indicates the platelets. So if you remember that all these 4 plus 3, the 12 definitions, you people will be able to answer. We have the one more a bigger word, that is hemo. Hemo, total blood cells it will come. RBC, WBC, everything. That means if I say hemopoiesis, production of all the blood cells. Erythropoiesis, particularly production of RBC. Leukopoiesis, particularly production of WBC. Lymphopoiesis, particularly the production of lymphocyte. Thrombopoiesis, production of platelet. Production of everything we call hemopoiesis. Okay, hemo, the word indicates the production of everything, every blood cells. Okay, so just before we enter into the topic, I'm making you to learn all the definitions at a time. So I do remember you once again. Poiesis means production. Cythemia means increase in the number. Pania, which means decrease in the number. Okay, next, count. That we need to know about count. Okay, so that means we have some words like RBC count, WBC count, platelet count. What is count? That we need to know. RBC count, WBC count, platelet count. What is this? Count. Count means the number of blood cells per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. That 1 cubic millimeter of blood, that number of WBC, number of RBC, or number of platelet, whatever, that 1 cubic millimeter of blood. So let me define. RBC count. RBC count means the total number of RBC per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. WBC count, the total number of WBC per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. Then platelet count, the total number of platelets per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. So it's about 5 million RBC. The number of RBC per cubic millimeter of blood is about 5 million in man and 4.5 million in women. It is an approximate issue only. So we are making it as 5 million in man and 4.5 million in women. So nearby you have to take it out. So I'm taking 5 million. Okay, 5 million in men. Okay, WBC count. What is WBC count? Per cubic, that number of WBC present for 1 cubic millimeter of blood, we say WBC count. It's about 6,000 to 10,000. That number of WBC is at 6,000 to 10,000. Okay. So WBC count. Platelet count. Platelet count is so familiar, isn't it? Platelet count. That means in case of dengue fever, that platelet number is much reduced over. We use it to say that it's become very much dangerous. So it is nearly about 2,50,000 to 4,50,000. Okay, so that textbook to textbook and material to material, it may vary, but nearby. For example, if we get the normal platelet count as a question in examination, platelet count is, so they give contrasted the options like 6,000, then 2 lakhs, then 1,000, then 1 lakh. Okay, so that means the contrast difference. That nearby to the 2,50,000 is 2 lakh. So that's why we have selected 2 lakh as an answer. Okay, so that means in book to book there is some difference, but not much difference. Okay, so that means 2 lakh. That we can't select 1,000, isn't it? So likewise. So just remember that the normal count. So nearby normal count, you will get the questions. Okay, so then count. The word that thing we learned here now, it is count. What is count? That number of RBC per 1 cubic millimeter of blood is called RBC count. It is about 5 million in men and 4.5 million in women. WBC count, the number of WBC per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. That means it's about 6,000 to 10,000 WBC per 1 cubic millimeter. Okay, then platelet count, that the number of platelets per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. Okay, so let me remind you once again, we came across that cythemia, penia, and poiesis. Okay, as a fourth issue, we are learning the count. Number one, cythemia, we said increase. Now you can apply here that penia, decrease in the number. Poiesis means production. Now you can apply here. We said normal count RBC is 5 million. Imagine if there are about 7 million or 8 million, what do you say? That is cythemia, polycythemia. Okay. Imagine if there are reduced to 3 million, so what do you say? That penia, erythrocytopenia. Likewise. WBC count. Normal count is 6,000, isn't it? If 6,000 to 10,000, imagine if there are about 11,000 present, so what do you say? 11,000 present. That means that is leukocythemia. Okay. That means platelet count drop to 1 lakh. So what do you say? Thrombocytopenia. Thrombocytopenia. Okay, seems to be a lot of definitions are there, but nothing there. Just you remember these issues. That's all. Cythemia, increase in the number. Penia, decrease in the number. Poiesis, production. Poiesis, production. Next, count. That number of cells or BC or WBC or platelets, whatever. Number of cells per 1 cubic millimeter of blood, we say that count, RBC count as WBC count or platelet count, whatever. Okay. So along with the thing, we'll take some issues. We'll select some issues to learn here. Then let me erase this. Let me erase this. Now I'm taking the participants here for the issue which we have taken RBC and WBC. WBC include granulocytes, agranulocytes, and in that acidophil, basophil, and lymphocytes and monocytes are there. So for all in all the cells, now what I am doing here, how about their nucleus? Looking towards how about their nucleus? The bigger thing, so that's why we need to go with them. So that means before I enter into the blood topic, I am trying to complete issues time by time, like we discussed about the cythemia, we discussed about the pania, and we discussed about the poiesis count. Okay, then in that way, now I am taking the issue nucleus, about the nucleus. One after another we'll go with. First of all, let me go with RBC. There is no nucleus in RBC. RBC, nucleus is absent. Okay. Yes, there is no nucleus. In case of mammal RBC, we are talking about human being, and human is a mammal. So there is no RBC. Now, let's move to the WBC. In WBC, granulocytes, agranulocyte. In that, first of all, let me take basophils. So how about the nucleus in the basophils? Nucleus is divided into irregular lobes. In case of basophil, nucleus, that in the cells, the nucleus, whatever present, that was divided into irregular lobes like this. Okay, so that cells are unique with their own nucleus. Okay, in the same way, let me move towards the eosinophils or acidophils. Eosinophils or acidophils we are talking about. The nucleus is distinctly bilobe. In eosinophils, the nucleus is distinctly bilobe. Imagine this is a cell. In that, the nucleus is distinctly bilobe like this. Two lobes are present, which are connected by isthmus. This is one lobe and this is another lobe. Distinctly bilobe. Okay. Next, neutrophils. In case of neutrophils, many lobes, it's about the 2 to 5 lobes are present. Many lobes. So then neutrophils, many lobes. If only 2 lobes are present, we can say that is eosinophil. If the lobes are irregular, we can call that irregular basophils. Okay, in the same way, let me show you that 2 to 5 lobes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise. Okay, so that means the lobes are present here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, likewise. Okay, so that's it, irregularly lobe. Next, agranulocytes. Agranulocytes are even with two cells, isn't it? Lymphocytes and monocytes. Okay, so in the lymphocytes, large spherical nucleus is present. Lymphocytes. Yes, a large spherical nucleus. I am requesting all of you that you make notes for all of these. The items I'll give it to you now. Large spherical nucleus. Large spherical nucleus. Lymphocytes are with large spherical nucleus. Finally, the one more cell in the blood, that is monocytes. Monocytes. Monocytes are having the bean-shaped or kidney-shaped nucleus. Bean-shaped or kidney-shaped nucleus. Okay. So let me erase this. I'll show you all the nucleus diagrams in the text for you. So just you remember the theory that kidney-shaped or bean-shaped nucleus. So this is the item. Okay. So in case of RBC, nucleus is absent. In basophils, it is irregularly low. In eosinophils, Nucleus is bilobe. In neutrophils, many lobe. Large spherical nucleus is present in lymphocytes and kidney-shaped or bean-shaped nucleus in case of monocytes. Okay, so this is about the nucleus. Before we continue, let me say once again the items we are taken. Number one, we started from poiesis. Okay, number two, cythemia. Okay, next, number three, pania. Okay, number four, about the count we are seeing, and now we went through nucleus. Okay, now we went through nucleus. I request all of you to take the screenshot of this and try to make your own notes by searching the text in the fluid connective tissue in the blood. Search for poiesis like erythropoiesis, like hemopoiesis, then leukopoiesis, and polycythemia, thrombocythemia, leukocythemia, lymphocythemia, then the erythropenia, leukocytopenia, thrombocytopenia, then RBC count, WBC count, platelet count, and nucleus of all the cells like RBC, and in the WBC, all 5 types of cells like eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils, lymphocytes, and monocytes. Okay, then let's continue. Let's continue here about the percentage. Okay, the percentage we have to discuss now. So for that, we need to bring one more time our chart. As I said to you, the blood is with plasma and formed elements. Plasma and formed elements. Formed elements. Sometimes they include platelets also in the formed elements. At the time, you'll find only two, plasma and formed elements. Okay, so that classification different in different books even. Okay, so then plasma and formed elements. So in that, we have to take it out once again, RBC and WBC, RBC and WBC, and WBC. WBC is of again granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes, agranulocytes. So granulocytes are further classified into eosinophils or acidophils, excuse, basophils and neutrophils, and we have lymphocytes and monocytes, lymphocytes and monocytes. Now, let's talk about the percentages here. That about the percentages of total blood. Okay, so if it comes for the plasma, particularly if you take the plasma, that plasma is having 92% of, okay, let's take the plasma composition in the blood first of all. Plasma constitute about 55%. The formed elements, which include the platelet, is all about 45%. So their percentage is like this. Plasma is about 55%, and the remaining cells, that whatever, including platelets, everything is 45%. Okay. Next. So in this 45% of the formed element, we need to talk about the percentage of each and every one here. So before that, in the plasma 55%, in the plasma 92% is water, and the remaining 8% is organic and inorganic substances which are going to be dissolved in the plasma, that we'll discuss in the composition. Now the item we are taken about percentages, just percentages. Okay, then percentage wise, the RBC, that if you take the RBC is about, we already said that number of RBC 5 million to 4.5 million in case count wise we learn 5 million in men and 4.5 million in case of 1 cubic millimeter of blood, in 1 cubic millimeter of blood. Okay. So in that way, we can discuss the percentage that this is about 6,000 to 8,000. We are discussing, isn't it? 6,000 to 8,000. So RBC are about 5 million. That means nearly 50 lakh. Nearly 50 lakhs. 5 million means 50 lakhs, isn't it? So 6,000 to 8,000. Total WBC is about 6,000 to 8,000. So we can estimate like this. For 50 lakhs, if 5,000 are present, that will come nearly I am talking 700 is to 1. So total WBC we are talking. Because WBC count is 6,000 to 8,000. 6,000 or 8,000. If you calculate, you get nearly 50 lakhs is to, simply I am saying 50 lakhs is to 5,000 or 6,000. That is the ratio of RBC and WBC. Okay. So if we calculate like that, approximate calculation, which is very frequent in competitive examination, that I am giving, that 700 is to 1. For every 700 RBC, 1 WBC can be seen. For every 700 RBC, 1 WBC can be seen over. So that you need to remember. And if option comes in examination, will give like 7,000 is to 1, 7 is to 1, 70 is to 1, 700 is to 1. So that's why I remember I asked you, if 700 won't come, 800 is to 1. Nearby answer we have to talk about. Okay. So that's it. About RBC and WBC ratio. Within the WBC, that we need to take about the percentage, issues of percentage within the WBC. So let's talk about the percentages. Okay. Then in that, the granulocytes and agranulocytes, we say the basophils, one after another, we'll take it up. Number one, basophils occupy 0.4%. Eosinophils nearly 2.3%. 2.3%. Then neutrophils constitute the huge one, 62%. Okay, that means granulocytes are about 64.7%. Okay, the agranulocytes are about 35.3%. In that, lymphocytes 30%, monocytes that 5.3%. Okay, so 2.3, 0.4, 62, 30%, 5.3 include 100%. We are talking about this one. 100%. That means we said for every 700 RBC, 1 WBC is present. That what that WBC are like this. That means just making WBC as 100%, we have started calculation. Like eosinophils 2.3%, basophils 0.4%, 62% are neutrophils, and 30% are lymphocytes, and 5.3% monocytes. 5.3% monocytes. Okay. So then, this is all you have to make notes. So let me say once again. Okay, we'll leave this page to add some more. Cythemia, then pania, then poiesis. Took the items, then count. Then next, the selected one is nucleus. And next, I selected percentage, isn't it? The percentage. We got selected percentage. So I do continue the topic now. The seventh one is functions. That each and every function of the cells we need to go for. The participants in the functions are RBC and all WBC along with the platelets. So we need to search for functions. We need to make our own notes. So I request all of you to take a screenshot of this and do complete this work today. Cythemia, pania, poiesis, count, nucleus, percentage, and functions. Okay, so I hope you are taking the screenshot. Next, I'm erasing this. Now I start from the blood. So now we are starting blood here. Blood means you need to draw red color, isn't it? Let's take red. Blood. So now is a fresh beginning here. That means that these things will come in between. They may confuse you. So that's why I went through all that memory portion first and the keywords in them. Then after that, I started here. So what is blade? Blade is a red colored, opaque, slightly alkaline fluid. We know that blade is red in color. It is opaque, slightly alkaline. Blood is a red colored, opaque, slightly alkaline fluid. The study of blood is called hematology. Study of blood is called hematology. That it is a tissue, that blood is a tissue that circulates to various parts of the body through cardiovascular system, which flow in the blood vessels. Composed of blood plasma and the formed elements, blood plasma and formed elements, or we call it as blood cells like RBC, WBC, and platelets. The plasma constitute about 55% and the cells are about 45%. The cells are about 45%. Total volume of the blood we are talking. The total volume of the blood in an adult human is about 5 to 6 liters. The human, in an average, generally we are talking about, a person is having 5 to 6 liters of the blood. The percentage of total volume occupied by RBC is called hematocrit value or packed cell volume. Hematocrit value, that is very important. Just take a look here. Packed cell volume or PCV, packed cell volume. Learning blood will make us that various diagnostic techniques about the blood also will get as a general knowledge. So what we are talking about, the packed cell volume, the percentage of total volume occupied by the RBC is called that hematocrit. That means they'll take a sample of the blood in a test tube. So they allow the blood to sediment, drawn with red color. The test tube will make it blue. Then when we pour some blood here, so that in that RBC will settle down. RBC will settle down here. So that we are talking about. After that, some WBC will settle down. So that we are talking. RBC will settle down here. That's what we are talking. Now let's see the percentage of total volume occupied by RBC. The percentage of total volume occupied by the RBC is called hematocrit value. If this is the normal value, if you say in the patient, that means a doctor should know that normal value. Okay, in the patient. So I will draw here on the same size. Then you can understand what is packed cell value. Okay, so in the person, if it is like this, so this is the normal condition that you came to know now. This is the normal condition. Can I expect answer from you? What is this called technically? In the test tube, the 5 ml of blood is taken. That in a normal person, the blood is occupied up to here. And in the patient which came to your hospital, blood is occupied up to here. So can you name something to this? With the land names of earlier, I hope you may answer from tomorrow. But let me see today. Can you name this? Any one of you?
Erythropenia.
Very good. Super. Great. That I appreciate your concentration. Erythropenia. That means you see the number of RBC is decreased. That means we can say that as erythropenia. Okay. So let's make polycythemia even. It occupies more number of RBC. So what do you say it as? Polycythemia, increase in the number. So that by making the standard value, you can understand anything. That hematocrit value we use it to say packed cell value, a primary diagnostic issue, that to know immediately about that particular blood cell value. Okay, so let's start with the blood. We say it includes plasma and formed elements. So now let us start with plasma. Plasma is a fluid matrix of the blood. So plasma we call as a fluid matrix of the blood. Okay, let me change the color. Yeah, fluid matrix of the blood. Plasma is a fluid matrix. As we have seen in connective tissues, matrix, intercellular matrix. Here it is very much fluid because 92% is the water and 8% is the solutes in them. That solutes include
inorganic substance.
yeah, organic and inorganic substances. So solutes, we are talking about this 8%, 92% we declared already. It's water. The solute include plasma proteins, mineral salts, nutrients, gases, excretory wastes, enzymes, hormones. Why all these? That why all these are the things present here? Because blood plasma is going to transport various substances from the different places to the different organs. Supply and collection is the duty of blood plasma. So that's why hormones will be there, and different kinds of excretory wastes can be seen because we are transporting the excretory wastes to the excretory organ. Nutrients from the digestive system they need to transport to all over the body. So by the way, gases, oxygen transport, carbon dioxide transport, that means they should be done from here. So that's why everything is present there. But we are talking about that the special things which are present here, that plasma proteins, albumin and globulin. Albumin and globulin is said to be plasma proteins. Okay, so talking about the albumin, I will discuss about the importance of albumin when I explain the lymph. That by tomorrow we are going to learn about the albumin here when we go for lymph. That will be in the next class. Let's talk about the globulins. The well-known globulins are said to be immunoglobulins. It's a protein, plasma protein, immunoglobulin. Nowadays, this word is that is used to be much pronounced here by the people because of COVID pandemic. We call it as Ig, immunoglobulin. There are 5 types of immunoglobulins are there: IgG, IgM, IgA, IgD, and IgE. That 5 types of immunoglobulins are there. We'll discuss about this. We'll discuss about this in immunology chapter. So just to remember that albumin, I said I will go for when I explain the lymph, I'll explain there. So then globulin. Okay. Next, here itself, that in the plasma proteins we need to discuss about. We said now that albumins and then the globulins, albumin and globulin, and along with that, the clotting materials are present, the clotting proteins. So the helpful for the clotting, we say them as prothrombin and fibrinogen. These are helpful for the blood clotting. In the plasma, prothrombin and fibrinogen are present, which are said to be blood clotting. Anticoagulant is also there, which is again as the blood clotting. So what do you say it as? Heparin. The complete discussion we are going to be with blood clotting factors in body fluid circulation chapter in second year. But at present, you just remember that clotting factors in the plasma, prothrombin and fibrinogen. Anticoagulant factors in the plasma, heparin. Anticoagulant factors in the plasma, we call heparin. Okay. So that it's about the plasma proteins, that prothrombin and fibrinogen and anticoagulant heparin. All these are actually produced by the liver and will come and stay here in the blood plasma. So just talking about the globulins, globulins are also formed in the liver and lymphoid organ, because we said most of the globulins are antibodies. That's why they're going to be found in lymphoid organ. Details we'll discuss in immunology. Just to recollect the names, that's all. That albumin is the smallest and most abundant serum protein. Albumin is a small and the most abundant serum protein, which is mainly responsible for the colloidal osmotic pressure of the blood. It is mainly responsible for the colloidal osmotic pressure. How that I will show in the lymph topic. When we go to the lymph topic, just keep remember this albumin. Then how it affects the colloidal osmotic pressure, how it is responsible for that, we'll discuss. Why fall in the levels of albumin and blood plasma results into a disease called edema. That all we'll discuss in the coming chapter, that lymph. Okay, so then about the globulins, we'll talk about the globulins are alpha, beta, and gamma. And whatever the antibodies we said now, immunoglobulins, they're all said to be gamma globulins. Gamma globulins. That besides this, we have some more alpha, beta. So our said antibodies are said to be gamma globulins. Okay, they are said to be gamma globulins. And the plasma proteins. What is the function of plasma protein? Plasma protein acts as acid-base buffers. The buffer may be well known for you because of chemistry, the acids chapter. That acid buffers maintaining the pH of blood at 7.4. The blood pH is maintained 7.4 because of plasma proteins only. The salts of the blood plasma. Finally, the salts present in the blood plasma are chlorides, bicarbonates, sulfates, phosphates of sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Sodium, potassium, and calcium, magnesium, their sulfide, their chlorides, their bicarbonates, and their sulfates, their phosphates. That means, in what I mean here, the sodium chloride, likewise, we are talking. So chlorides, bicarbonates, and sulfates, phosphates. Okay, so it's a little difficult to write here. Sulfates and phosphates. Okay. Of sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. These are all the components of the plasma. Okay. So the big list is there for plasma, isn't it? The function wise and as well as the material wise. But we classified the plasma components of the plasma by as it is acting as a transport for many issues. As a transport, we say it contains mineral salts, nutrients, gases, excretory wastage, enzymes, hormones, likewise. And as a plasma protein, the protein wise, the plasma proteins include the prothrombin and fibrinogen as a clotting factors, anticoagulant, heparin is there, and albumin and globulins are also there. Okay, so as a protein wise, okay. In that globulin alpha, gamma, and beta, gamma globulins are called antibodies or immunoglobulins. Okay. So then the minerals or salts present in the plasma, the salts of the plasma are chlorides, bicarbonates, sulfates, phosphates of sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Okay. So the finally that function of the plasma, we say it is in transport of various substances, nutrients, excretory wastes, hormones are going to be transported from here itself. Then the functions of plasma protein, it is that individuals, they have their own function. As we said, albumin is having colloidal maintenance of colloidal osmotic pressure. What is it? And I'll explain. Don't get panic here. Okay. Next, globulins. About the globulins, the gamma globulins are said to be antibodies against the infections as a function we have. And that plasma acts as the acid-base buffer which maintains the pH, the blood about to be at 7.4. This is all these are about issues about the plasma. Okay. Next, let's talk about the formed elements. Second one, formed elements. What are formed elements? The formed elements, nothing but RBC. We call it as erythrocytes. RBC is also called erythrocyte. If you remember, you'll get a lot benefit, like erythrocytemia, that sorry, erythropoiesis, that all the kind of words without confusion you'll get. Yeah, leukocytes. That means in general, the white blood cells are called leukocytes. Okay. So the formed elements include erythrocyte, leukocyte, platelets. Okay. So all these are called formed elements. The process of formation of blood cells. What do you call the process of formation of blood cells? As I already said to you, hemopoiesis.
Hemostasis.
Yeah, total blood cells when it comes, the word it will come hemopoiesis or hematopoiesis. Hemopoiesis or hematopoiesis. It will come like this. Okay. In the earliest stages, the blood RBC blood cells are getting actually produced from and during embryogenesis, during embryonic development, in embryonic stages, that blood cells are actually formed from yolk sac mesoderm. They're actually formed from the yolk sac mesoderm. Later on, the liver and spleen will take role. That means it is all about embryonic stages only. The first, talking about hemopoiesis, production of blood cells. Initially, when we are in the mother uterus, yolk sac mesoderm that will take the role. Then after, liver and spleen acts as a temporary hemopoietic tissues. Then in the final stages of embryonic development and after the birth, at present, who is taking this role? A red bone marrow. Red bone marrow I shown to you in the spongy bone in the earlier classes. Red bone marrow is the primary site of hemopoiesis. That means very early stages. When we are in the mother uterus, yolk sac mesoderm, then after liver and spleen. But as long as the embryo is growing, that we say the production has done by a red bone marrow, which is the primary site of hemopoiesis. We can see. So that's it. About the hemopoiesis we have to talk about. And then today we'll discuss about RBC. RBC, red blood cell. Today we'll discuss about the RBC and the remaining blood cells will go with in the tomorrow class. So today we'll complete the RBC at least. Okay, so RBC, what do you call? Erythrocytes, we say. That in RBC of mammal is circular, elliptical in camel and llamas, but ours is circular, biconcave, enucleate, like this it is present. Biconcave, enucleate. What is enucleate? There is no nucleus. And what it is filled with? It is filled with full of, let me fill this, hemoglobin. No cytoorganelles here. No nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, ribosome. So why should we say like that? Completely lack without any cytoorganelle. So what is there present then now? That what is there? Just hemoglobin. The component is hemoglobin. Only hemoglobin. That only component present here, hemoglobin. See this, biconcave. Biconcave in shape. Okay. Surface view will be circular. So that's why it is used to say like that. Circular, biconcave, enucleate. What is the advantage of this biconcave shape? Biconcave shape provide a large surface area to volume ratio. That means it can collect more oxygen. The diffusion membrane is going to be comparatively more, so that we can understand. This is helpful for the exchange of gases. You remember like that. So what about the count? We said the count of RBC is 5 million. That per 1 cubic millimeter of blood. In man, 4.5 million in case of women. Decrease in the number of RBC, we said erythrocytopenia, which leads to anemia. And abnormal rise in the RBC count we call polycythemia. That why I'm just moving on. Why? Because we learned all this, isn't it? That a decrease in the number of erythrocyte is called erythrocytopenia, which leads to anemia. An abnormal rise in the RBC count is called polycythemia. Shortage of oxygen stimulate the kidney Very, very important issue here. Nobody will expect like this. That's why we get question here. Last year, that in need, that kidney produce erythropoietin, a hormone called erythropoietin. So that when the number of RBCs decrease, an abnormal that shortage of oxygen. That means we know RBC transport oxygen. The exclusive function of RBC is transport of oxygen. That means enough number of RBC are present, they transport oxygen. Imagine if the oxygen levels are dropped in the blood, so that was stimulated by kidney. Okay, so then kidney release the hormone. We know as when we say kidney, immediately we say it's an excretory organ. But kidney is having a special function. They release a hormone called erythropoietin. They stimulate the red bone marrow for the production of RBC. It stimulates the red bone marrow. So that means kidney stimulate the red bone marrow. For what? For the production of RBC. By releasing erythropoietin. Erythropoietin. Okay. Then let's continue. Erythropoietin, we said the stimulate the bone marrow, increase in the production of RBC. And vitamin B12. Indirectly, we got this question also last year in 2019. Vitamin B12 and folic acid. Vitamin B12 and folic acid required for the maturation of RBC. The vitamins required for this maturation of RBC are vitamin B12 and folic acid. Okay, vitamin B12 and folic acid required for the maturation of RBC. So, arrangement of RBC, that arrangement of RBC, we say in the form of Rolex. I'll show you the Rolex arrangement. Like this. It's just like put some 10 coins in the water. How do they attach? A small water layer will attach them. It's just like we can see here. If you want, I'll draw the coins also like this. So this kind of arrangement that we say a Rolex arrangement. Rolex arrangement. So do remember this Rolex arrangement. So this kind of arrangement facilitate that into the smaller blood vessels and blood capillaries also the RBC can move freely. Okay, so that is the advantage of the arrangement. Okay, next, the mammalian RBC is surrounded by a plasma membrane, which is in general called as Donan's membrane. The membrane of mammalian RBC is said to be Donan's membrane. It is having some properties. It allows the oxygen inside to come in, and that it allows the carbon dioxide to go out or come in. Okay, so then we'll discuss that oxygen transport in transport of gases chapter, that the semi-permeability or selective permeability is going to play a vital role. It's just to remember here, the membrane is Donan's membrane, and the nucleus and other cell organelles are lost in this particular stage, in RBC stage, that we call it as immature RBC as reticulocyte. So that in the reticulocyte stage, they lose every cytoorganelle, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum. They lose everything and they become mature RBC. Okay, so mature RBC means simply we say it contains only hemoglobin. Everything is lost. Reticulocyte is the immature RBC. Name of immature RBC is reticulocyte, which contains some cytoorganelles. Everything they lose, which filled with only hemoglobin, then we can say it's a mature RBC. Okay. Then some more issues are there to learn. RBC contain hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. We can classify the hemoglobin into two. Heme and globin. Okay, so talking about the globin, globin is with 4 polypeptide chains, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1 and beta 2. 4 polypeptide chains are present here. Polypeptide chains. Okay. Then in case of the heme, 4 porphyrin rings are present. 1, 2, 3, 4. A chemical ring, porphyrin ring, which contain iron in the center. 4 porphyrin rings. Okay. The 4 porphyrin rings with 4 polypeptide chains of heme, which makes one RBC, that one hemoglobin molecule. That means, let me draw with colors. The 4 porphyrin rings of heme molecules and 4 polypeptide chains, alpha, beta, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, which makes a complete RBC. A hypothetical diagram I am giving here. So as I said to you, that iron molecule is there in the center of porphyrin rings, which that iron molecule will bind with oxygen. So how many porphyrin rings are there? 4 porphyrin rings. So each one with one iron molecule. So that will bind with 4 oxygen molecules. Not now necessary in first year itself, but just as a general knowledge we are talking about. The hemoglobin composed of heme and globin, heme with 4 porphyrin rings. Just remember, heme with 4 porphyrin rings. The 4 porphyrin rings contain that iron in the center. In the center, iron ring molecules are present and 4 polypeptide chains are present in the globin. Globin, this is globin and this is heme. One hemoglobin molecule contains 4 porphyrin rings which bind with 4 polypeptide chains. These are polypeptide chains. These are porphyrin rings. That makes one hemoglobin molecule. Okay, so that you need to understand now. So one hemoglobin can carry 4 oxygen molecules. That further only we are learning this time. One hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 oxygen molecule. That is a specialty of this particular game. Okay, that is a specialty. Okay, then the worn out RBC, that means the lifespan of RBC is about 120 days. The worn out RBC, that means dead RBC, will go to the spleen and then to the liver. Okay, so total life history along with the structure I'll revise you tomorrow again. That means I'll frame a story here. RBC from the birth till the death, what it is doing. That we'll discuss tomorrow even again. So that issues of RBC were completed here. That like RBC of mammals is biconcave, enucleate, without any cytoorganelles, and we said it carries the oxygen and it contains hemoglobin and with some definitions like erythrocytopenia, anemia, polycythemia, and erythropoietin. That all the issues we discussed today itself, and I'll give the conclusion of RBC and the remaining blood cells. That means we'll frame a very beautiful story tomorrow. That in this area, we'll frame a beautiful story. That to understand the total RBC once again. And before I close, let me appreciate the marks you got yesterday. So I'm unable to show today, but I'm appreciating all of you for getting very good marks. Interesting here, the structural organization up to connective tissue. That almost full score means it's